All right, I'm live once again, and I'm using Starbucks internet for once, although I'm still in my car. I've been informed that the local Starbucks will not be opening until at the earliest June 4th or something like that. So that's where I'm at with that. Even so, though, Starbucks is not usually a place where I'm able to stream anymore because it's just too loud. But with with people being afraid to go outside or participate in the public space, uh, you know, I don't think very many people will end up being in the Starbucks, uh, you know, for the time being anyway. So I am taking your questions live right now. You guys, I'm curious how many of you watched my recent video because I'm not sure people really enjoyed it as much. Um, well, let me just dial it back here. I was insecure about posting that video, and partly because, for those of you who didn't watch it, it's a video of me talking about how there was this guy that showed up at the theater. I think it was the last time I went to the theater, and he basically was pretending like I was his date. Like he came and sat next to me, even though there were so many seats available, and he was like talking to me, but not really. It was very strange, and it was just like he was talking to me in a much more familiar way than like it wasn't like somebody just trying to have make conversation with the person next to them. It was really weird. Anyway, the long and short of it is I was afraid to post that because people get kind of mad and they're like, well, it's just your perception. He wasn't actually doing that. It's just your perception of what he was doing. And isn't that the point, though? Yes, it was my perception of what he was doing. That's why you ought to be careful not to, uh, you know, put yourself in a situation where you're giving off the perception that you're kind of being a creep sitting next to somebody in a theater. So I don't know. Let me know if you guys enjoyed it. It seems like it got a lot more views after, like later on, than it did originally. Again, let me know what you guys thought in the comment section. Do you think that I was overreacting? Do you think that has that happened to you before where somebody was like being a little too familiar with you at the theater? I've had some pretty like crazy theater experiences. I can't remember, it wasn't the first time I ever went to the theater in LA, but I think it was the second time I went and saw Endgame, or not Endgame, Infinity War. I saw Infinity War in the theater twice in LA. And the second time I went both times I went by myself, and I hate going to the theater by myself. Prior to Infinity War, I had never gone to the theater by myself alone. But I went there the second time on a Sunday afternoon. Never do that. There was a ton of kids there. It was loud. It was obnoxious. There was like people smoking pot in the theater and stuff. It was insane. But there was a guy who reached out. He was in my row, but he was probably 3 or 4 seats down. He reached out and hit the woman sitting in front of me, down in front, on the back of the head. Hit her like pretty hard. And he didn't know who she was. She didn't know who he was. And she turned and like, who hit me? Like, and again, I don't know what brought it on. I wasn't paying attention. I don't know what was going on. But yeah, I've got a lot of like crazy theater experiences and crazy experiences just in general. It's just weird out here, guys. So I hope everybody is surviving. I wanted to give everyone an update on videos that are coming out. I just recorded the Matt's Idea Shop tour with it's the unfinished Matt's Idea Shop that I've been working on in Minecraft, and I just finished recording that. I will hopefully have it edited by tomorrow afternoon and have it uploaded so you guys will be able to watch that on Saturday. Hello to Grainy Dunlop. Thank you for the one comment in the comment section. I appreciate the support. Please feel free to interact in the comments. I will read your comments. I haven't done a live in a while because last week I was going to do a live, and then I was trying to do it with Jacob Berry, and we weren't able to connect. It was a whole deal, you guys. It was very confusing. You are Grammy Dunlop says he's in Scotland. What's it like over in Scotland? Have you guys had to do like shutdowns? Are you in quarantine? What kind of food do you guys have in Scotland? The only thing I can think of about Scotland is like alcohol. I don't know why that's like the only food or beverage that I can think of in relation to Scotland for some reason. I'm going to roll down one of the windows in this car because there was a person who decided to pull up next to me while I had my windows down and start smoking her cigarette. And so I had to roll my windows up. And now she is gone. So now the window is down again. Grammy Dunlop says he's still in lockdown in Scotland. Well, we're sort of still in lockdown in California. Basically, at this point, there's just a lot of people that have decided to just kind of go about their, like, traffic is essentially about what normal traffic would be with schools being closed. So, like, schools are still closed. Most restaurants are still closed, although takeout restaurants have been increasing. Some of the stores are open, but they're limiting the amount of people that can be in there to 15 or some ridiculous number. Nobody wants to go out. So there's really not a reason, I think, to be putting a limit on things. I do have to say, I was a little frustrated. I'm a big fan of Sean Johnson, and I was a little frustrated with one of the videos that they put out today. And this is not to say anything bad about her or her husband or to, like, bash them in any way. This is just to say I disagree with how they've kind of, I don't know. Maybe if I was in their position, I guess I would want to be a little bit more cautious about how I address things because they're much, bigger celebrity. I'm not a celebrity, first of all. Second, they are celebrities. They have a lot of eyeballs on them, and they are in a much more dicey position as far as needing to be kind of apolitical, or at the very least bipartisan in how they present themselves. And so it's harder for them. They can't just come out and, I don't know, they have to be much more politically correct, shall we say. And so I guess I was just frustrated by the video that they put out, talking about how there's just, it felt like there was a lot of embracing of kind of the fear element, and maybe my perception was wrong. Maybe they were trying to reject that, but I just have a problem with people just being afraid to say enough is enough, and people just being afraid to say this has gone too far. Just this idea that we have to follow government guidelines, even though they aren't the law, and they have not followed due process in order to put these things out. The idea that you have to do something that is not, the idea that you have to give up your constitutional rights in order to bow to these other rules over here that somebody put together. I don't know. Again, I'm not trying to bash them. I'm not trying to say anything bad about them. I think they're great. I respect the position that they're in, that they have to be more politically correct than others. But it's just frustrating to me that there's so much faith placed in government, especially from people that I see that are in influential positions. There's just so much, there's this embrace of, like, the government knows what's best, and the government, you need to follow the rules. You need to do this. You need to follow the rules. I'm not encouraging people to break laws, but these are not laws that are being passed in my county. These are not laws that are happening. Like Governor Newsom's stay-at-home order is not a law. That is an executive order. That's not the same thing. Laws come about through Congress or through the Assembly, and they occur because people that allegedly represent us enacted those laws, and that follows a process. It's not executive rule by fiat. You don't get to just sit from the governor's mansion and start saying we're going to do this and we're going to do that and we're going to do that, although that apparently seems to be the way governors and even presidents these days think that they can operate. They just think that they can, I woke up one morning and I feel like decreeing something. No, Governor Newsom is not a king. I know he would like to think that. Let's see. Lance Fogel says, come to Illinois. The governor thinks he's king. Well, that's the last place I want to go. I don't want to go to Illinois. I'm looking at Nashville, honestly. But yeah, it's not looking good. I was telling somebody on the phone the other day, as I was telling them I would no longer need their services, unfortunately, because I can't pay for them anymore. I was telling the person on the phone, I think that we're all going to be in a position, like when we started 2020, we thought we had all these plans. We thought we had an idea of where we were going to be by the end of the year. And it's going to be very, very different than what that idea was. So that is where things are at. I'm just kind of sick of this whole thing, but I'm also in a pretty decent mood considering. So, are there any other questions? Where is everybody watching from? What's the quarantine going on like? I did want to mention, I saw this. This is super weird and creepy, and I don't know if I should be disturbed or if I should laugh or think it's funny, but I guess there's this guy who has a foot fetish, and he is stalking Cassie Dillon and pulling up all of her pictures that involve her feet. And there's like this whole page about it. It's so weird. And I'm not sure whether I should feel creeped out or if I should laugh. The only reason I even know about this is he was pulling pictures off of my Instagram that she was in. And I don't have that many pictures of Cassie or even of us together. Maybe probably a total 4 or 5. I don't know. I certainly don't have very many posted on Instagram. We're always very careful not to post anything that people don't feel comfortable with, but they pulled one picture of Cassie and I was like, what? Why? How do people even find me? That's the question. I know I'm on YouTube and Twitter as like a personality, but other than that, most people don't follow me on Instagram. Most people don't really give a crap. So I don't know. I just thought that was weird. Should I feel creeped out about it? Should I just laugh it off? Is it weird? Is it funny? I don't know. I think it's a little bit of both. I just think for those of you who think that stalking somebody, even like somebody you're a fan of, is okay, really, don't do it, guys. Don't. Stop being stupid, please. I'm not saying anybody here is being stupid. I'm just saying anybody who is out there that thinks that that's okay. It's not. It's really not. So let's see. Lance Vogel says, hoping to be moving by year's end. Tennessee, Texas, or the greater DC area are my choices. Why DC? That sounds like, I mean, you might as well move to San Francisco. I don't know. Why would you move to DC? Unless you have a job opportunity, they're going to pay you like large sums of money. But large sums of, I mean, LA would just, like, you could pay me large sums of money and I probably still wouldn't move to LA again. It's just too expensive. It's way too expensive. I was paying like almost $2,000 a month for a studio in LA. It's too expensive. Lance says he has family in the DC area. Okay, that makes sense. You got to have like a ulterior motive, I guess, for moving to DC. It's just so expensive. It's so expensive. So let's see. I really don't have that much else to talk about. Okay, this is very important. Listen up. I pre-ordered the Hunger Games book, the new one, and it won't get here until tomorrow. And I know it's out. It's out to be read on Kindle, and I'm holding out. I almost bought it so that I would have it on Kindle, and then I saw it was like $20 or something, $18, and I was like, I can't do it. I'm not going to waste the money. It's important not to be wasting money right now. I have it coming in the mail. It will be here tomorrow, probably late in the day, but it will still be here tomorrow, and I'll have the physical copy because there was no way I wasn't having a physical copy. I've made it all the way until 2:00 on Wednesday afternoon without knowing, so please no spoilers, but oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I've been rereading the entire trilogy, the original trilogy. It seems weird to be talking about Hunger Games and saying there's an original trilogy now, and then now there's going to be a new one, and it's a prequel trilogy, and then there'll be a sequel. Well, they ruin everything. We'll see how it happens, but so I'm looking forward to that. I'm very excited, and I'm really trying not to think about it because the more I think about it, the more I want to buy the new one just on Kindle and have it immediately, and then just have the physical copy as the physical copy, the token physical copy. But this is just the way things are. Now, another episode I have coming up on my channel next Tuesday is my Star Trek Enterprise review because I finally finished it. And then the following Saturday, because I will burn through that Hunger Games book, I'm hoping the following Saturday will be my review of that book. And then after that, I had something else going. But that's pretty much what I got planned coming up let's see. Are there any guests, you guys? I would really like to have Senya back. She's a producer in Hollywood. She was in she's a very accomplished producer, shall we say. I think it would be interesting to interview her and have her talk about what the situation in Hollywood looks like right now, because as you guys all know, we have not had any theaters open. While theaters, I think, are starting to open in the Midwest and like Texas and stuff, they are not opening in California anytime soon. And that is a huge hit to their industry. And even though I know a lot of conservatives hate Hollywood, a lot of conservatives like to go to the movies still. They still give Hollywood their money, even though they hate on them so much. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. Like, we were supposed to see Mulan in March. We didn't have that. Then they moved Mulan to July, and now that's been moved, and they now have 0 dates on when that's going to happen. They moved Black Widow to November, and I don't know, that might get bumped. They moved Wonder Woman to August. I would imagine that's definitely going to get bumped. So we'll see what happens. Like, there was a lot of movies this year that I was looking forward to, those 3 in particular. And I don't know where we're going to be with that industry, just because that's one of the industries that has taken one of the biggest gut punches at this point. That, in like the restaurant industry and, retail, and, everybody's taken a gut punch, but the Hollywood industry, it's been pretty bad. And I think that we're going to see pretty significant changes in how, just how media is consumed going forward, because Hollywood is never going to want to have this happen again. And so I think there's going to be a huge shift, whether we want it to happen or not. There's going to be a huge shift away from theaters and a huge shift into digital streaming and to researching options, so that if this happens again, which I guarantee you it will. Oh, my mother just commented. She says hair salons are another industry that has been gutted. Yes, very good point. I don't know when my hair appointment was on June 24th, and I don't know if that's going to still happen. I don't know what's going to be open by June 24th, but as I was saying, I think there's going to be a huge shift from Netflix, or from the theater industry, to online streaming, whether it's Netflix, Disney Plus. I mean, Disney Plus could not have timed their streaming platform better than with this coronavirus thing. Disney planned it all. They planned the coronavirus. I'm just kidding, but yeah, I heard that they hit their 2032 numbers. I think I've said this in the past, but they hit their 2032 numbers as far as how many subscribers they wanted to get on their platform by 2032. They hit those numbers already here in 2020, because everybody is bored and laying around streaming all day. Although I can't, because the internet doesn't work here, which is why I'm in my car in the middle of nowhere. So somebody says, and HBO Max and Peacock are coming soon. Yes, HBO Max. I don't know if you guys heard, but they are releasing the Snyder Cut. When last I heard, release the Snyder Cut was a thing that was happening to get people to buy HBO Max. So I think, let me know in the comments what you guys think if you disagree with me. But I have had nobody disagree with me on that. So I would like to have Senya. She's a Hollywood person. She's got connections. She knows things. She would probably have a lot of insight into what she thinks the industry is going to transform into going forward. Are we going to have everything move to streaming, which I think we should. I think there should be an option so that we can watch shows live when they come out, instead of, just kind of, okay, they go live on TV and then the next day you get to watch it on Hulu or whatever. I think we should do away with that. We should have the episode go live streaming on the digital platform, because nobody does cable anymore. How many people do cable? Nobody's watching it live like that. But it would be fun to be able to have the option to stream it live and then interact, because it's fun to be able to watch your show live and then interact with people on Twitter about it, which is what I used to do when we had cable. So let's see. Yeah. Speaking of which, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. starts next Tuesday. I know nobody watches it except for me, my dad, and Jacob Berry, and I wasn't even watching it last season. So I don't know. I'm kind of interested, because they're going back to the 1940s. Actually, I think it's the 1930s originally, and then they end up moving into the 40s and 50s. But they period costumes. That's just a thing that it's tantalizing. I can't stand it. So I'm going to have to watch at least the first couple of episodes and see how it is. So we'll see what happens. Are there any shows that people are interested in watching coming up? I heard Fuller House, the second half of the season of Fuller House, the final season is coming out. Yes, I confess I watch it, but I watch it. I've said this before and I'll say it again. I don't watch it because it's good. I watch it specifically because it's bad. It's a horribly made show. It's crap TV. And that's why I watch it, because like when you're stressed out or you're upset about something, it's nice to watch something that's stupid. And that's what that's for. It's kind of like why I watch Star Trek Enterprise, which you guys will hear about my tales of Star Trek Enterprise on next Tuesday's episode, which I just finished editing today, and it is being uploaded as we speak. So I don't think I have anything more to say. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Oh, we got one more comment. Bosch on Amazon Prime, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. I'm probably not. I'm sorry. Was really good. Okay, so I will check that TV show out. I don't know why I just said TV show like I'm in the 1980s, but I will check that show out. What do you guys think about one more question for you? Well, since we're on the line of TV shows, what do you guys think about so they did The Crown on Netflix, and now they're doing, what is it called? The Throne or The Royal, or I don't even know. They're doing the Crown ripoff of The Crown, only set in Russia instead of Britain. And I saw that going around and I was like, well, first of all, obviously you're trying to rip off The Crown. And secondly, is The Crown good? Should I watch it? I know Jacob Berry has said that he and his wife were watching it and they were enjoying it. So I'm curious. I started watching it and then I stopped like after like 10 minutes or something. So should I go back and try and watch it? Should I not? Is it worth watching? Let me know in the comments below. If you guys like this live stream, also like this video, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell so you get notifications when I go live, because I go live every Wednesday unless something bad happens. Lance Fogel says he found The Crown interesting. So check out The Crown. Check out Bosch, Bosch, on Amazon Prime. Check out Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. next Wednesday, even though it's another example of crap TV. And I will talk to you guys on the next video.